sure, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that conversation. We'll talk about that a little later. That's actually part of the segment, man. But for those people that are watching, man, and ain't really too familiar with Dale Gilliard, man, just kind of introduce yourself, man. Let them know who you are.
Well, yeah, my name is Dale. Dale Gilliard. I go by Dale the Trailblazer. I've been rapping since I was a kid, man. I recorded my first raps when I was about 15, and started, recording music at the church, man, in the tape room. Little tape room was about, size of a closet. We had handheld mic, and that's where the journey started, man. And so I've had some successes, had some failures with it because it was gospel, and so it was a weird space, man, because we were too worldly for the church, but too corny for the world. So wild place to be, bro. Especially back then in the late '90s, early 2000s. But man, I've kept pushing. I've become more consistent over these past 4 years. I put out, I think, 4 projects within the past 4 years. The latest one I just dropped right before this past election is called Distress, and so it's dealing with a lot of social and political topics that's going on in our world today, man. But it's bars on bars. If you're into like Kanye type style beats, with maybe like some Nas, Jay-Z type bars and delivery, then and Common, like the content of Common, then that's kind of how I would say I'm kind of like in that lane.
For sure. Shout out to Common, one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
You talked about this when you first started out, the challenges, because there is a difference, when you coming up in the church.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And you are, we hear in church all the time, to be set apart and be different and everything like that. But a lot of times what you're bringing is not really accepted. So what has been that challenge, and how have you been able to navigate the support or the lack of?
Bro, I don't know.
Okay.
Just consistency. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't allow people's opinions to sway you. And so I've endured it all, as far as when you talk about challenges, doing the style of music I was doing, but being in the church. And that's why now, the place that I'm in now, I'm not, my focus is not in that space as far as, like doing like church events and stuff. I've been hitting bars, I've been hitting clubs, I've been hitting open mic nights. And I found that even with my message, even though it's not like overtly gospel anymore, it's still some little, breadcrumbs in there, or whatever the case may be. People just like real stuff, man. Sure. And people can tell the real from the fake. And so I've enjoyed being able to go into these spaces and hear people come up to me like, hey, bro, something different about you. I like that. You know what I mean? And so, so I guess to answer your question, how to navigate it, I believe.
Yeah.
Bro, I had to get out of there, fam.
Okay. That's real.
I had to get up out of there, bro.
That's real.
Yeah, man.
And I think so many times, man, like we've heard, because, we came up in the, same area, I'll say that. And we hear all the time, talking about evangelism and how it's supposed to be done outside of the church. But a lot of times people have issues that if we're not using our gift in the church,
right,
then we're misusing it.
You gotta be a Christian version of something, right?
You gotta
so
be
it's like
dressed.
so you can't rap. You gotta be a Christian rapper or a gospel. Right. But this is the thing that's so funny about that, man. Now me being a grown man, as opposed to when I started, I was a kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was in my teens. But looking back at it now, man, it's such a falsehood, because when you go to work, you don't go to work and identify as a Christian, whatever it is.
Right.
You just go do your job.
Sure.
And while you're there doing your job, if somebody sees that your character is that of, godliness, then they'll be like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it could probably affect somebody's life. You know what I mean? And so it's like, bro, for so long I was gung ho, like, man, I gotta be Christian this, blah, 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 blah. and that was stupid.
Right.
Just honestly, man. And so, like, bro, you could rap, you can sing, you can whatever it is, you know. And I'm talking to creatives right now who may be kind of in the same space. You can do whatever it is that you do and be a believer, but not have to necessarily, you know, identify like this is what it, because what happens is then you put God in a box. You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
And God is immutable, meaning he don't change, but he's also immense, meaning that he's very vast and big.
Right.
We can't bottle God up into what we want him to be. You see what I'm saying? Right. Like, and so I've enjoyed, like I said, being able now, the path that I'm on, to go into these various places as myself. And like I said, it's not overtly like Christian or gospel, but people can still tell the difference because of the content is talking about stuff that's still righteous.
Right.
You know what I mean? It may not be talking about Jesus, but it's stuff that like a Muslim can hear and be like, bro, that's righteous, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or just a regular person, like, bro, that's solid right there. You
and
know
it
what I
doesn't
mean?
compromise your salvation either.
At all.
Because honestly, it's not about religion, it's about relationship. You know,
sure,
and if
for
you're
sure.
reaching people, man,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, because like you said, you can go somewhere, right? And you're doing that message and someone's like, you know what, man, there's something about this dude.
For sure.
And then you start having a personal conversation, and that's when they realize, okay, whatever he has, that's what I want. You know, but you're not shoving, you know, condemnation. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, even the Bible says, I didn't even send my son into the world to condemn the world, you know.
Absolutely.
By my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it is.
Can I piggyback on that real quick, bro?
For sure.
And I didn't know we was gonna be getting real religious, but since
Talk
we here,
about it.
since we here, we can chop it up real quick. Yeah, God didn't send Jesus to condemn. That's John 3:17. Like we love to talk about John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his son, right? But the verse right after that said he didn't come to condemn.
Right.
And when you look at Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels, Jesus never condemned nobody. It was the political leaders of that day who were called the Pharisees, right? They would constantly approach Jesus with these questions about what were their laws back then. Right. One in particular, they caught a woman. They said, yo, we caught her committing adultery, right? It's like, okay, how'd you catch her, right? But they brought this woman to Jesus and said, hey, bro, the law says we stone people for these acts. What do you say? And Jesus said, well, he who was without sin cast the first stone. Right. There was an opportunity for Jesus to condemn a woman who was doing something unrighteous, and he didn't.
Right.
He showed her grace and mercy and said, hey, look, just do better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just do better. Don't do that no more. That's what he told her. He said, look, go ahead about your business. Don't do that no more.
Right.
And so, yeah, man. So when I come now, yeah, man, the church can be a very condemning place, man. And that's why a lot of people don't want to go no more. And honestly, that's why I am in a place that I am at right now, where my focus is not in there, bro. My focus is out here amongst the regular people, you know what I mean? Shaking hand, kissing babies. I'll go to the open mic, you know what I mean? I'll go to the club. I don't care where it's at, bro. Right. Because just because I'm there, you know, what that mean, bro? You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, bro, I just wanted to piggyback on that
and
real
that's
quick.
good, because a lot of people that really need Christ have been shunned away from the church. They don't even want to come to the church.
Facts.
Because how they've been made to feel. You know, you and I have been leaders in church before, and I can remember a specific time where a young lady, she wanted to join the choir and everything like that, and you know, when she came to church, you know, her dress was tight, but we were wearing robes. And as me being over the music ministry, I'm like, okay, we wearing robes. Ain't no big deal. Well, she didn't sing. She came to the back of the church, just sat down. I'm thinking maybe she got nervous, you know, whatever the case is. So I talked to her after church, and she said, well, I was back there putting on my robe, but some lady told me you're dressed too tight. You can't sing.
Bro, that's
never
a shame,
saw her
bro.
again, bro.
Yeah,
never saw her again.
And man, you know, it's a shame that stuff like apparel and what you wear, right, is things that many believers harp on, man, because the scriptures clearly say that God don't look at the outward, right? When in the Old Testament they was trying to find a king, right? And Samuel came and was you know, to David's family, and was going through all the sons, and by appearance Samuel was like, wait a minute, this is the one right here, right, Lord? He was like, nah, don't like I look at the inward, right? I look at the heart. So just because someone maybe have the right stature or the right clothes on doesn't necessarily mean that they are the one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's very unfortunate, man. I hate to hear stories like that, bro. You know what I think about too? The gospel message is supposed to be a message that's universal.
Absolutely.
Meaning that you should be able to preach the same thing everywhere. You can't go to the villages in Africa talking about somebody's dress being too tight when some of those women are topless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Walking around with cloth on.
Right.
With the everything, and you know, and honestly, it's really an American thing, man, because we over sexualize everything. You know what, bro? We was watching the Super Bowl last night at the crib, my family.
Talk about it.
We was watching the Super Bowl, and we can get into that discussion
for sure.
right out. Hey, look,
That's
right after I say this, let's get into that, right?
next.
So we watching the Super Bowl, the commercials and everything. It was a commercial that came on. DC, you remember this commercial? The commercial came on, and all you saw was chest, like it was breasts, and they was bouncing. You remember that commercial?
Trying to figure out what it was.
Bro, and I'm sitting there, right, and I'm sitting there with my family, with my son, with my daughter, right, and all you see is the tiggle bitties, right?
Daughter.
And so my son was like, man, it's children in the room, right?
You're such
So
a grown man,
right,
bro.
but then peep this, right? This is what my wife said, and this is why I love her so much, because it checked me in the moment, and I didn't say nothing, but she checked me in the moment. She said because I forget what the commercial was about, but she said the problem breast cancer awareness, right? But before the breast cancer awareness ad even came up, she said the problem is we over sexualize breasts. They're breasts.
Yeah.
And it checked me. I didn't say nothing, but in turn, I was like, "Yeah, she right, man.
Yeah.
They just breasts, bro.
Breast.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But the way we over sexualize, as soon as we seen them things in the screen, we was like, whoa. Like, sheesh. You know what I'm saying? Like, God almighty, boy. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, that's sad because and I've heard like Mary talk about that, bro. How they would go to certain places and because they dresses was kind of tight, they be getting shunned.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro. What are they saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway, yeah, let's talk about the Super Bowl now, though, because I'm ready.
The, we got the President's Day performance
For sure.
coming up, and by the way, man, like and I ain't just saying this because we on this podcast, man. I bumped that album.
I appreciate it,
The
man.
Can't Breathe joint, man. Like I
appreciate
swear,
it.
I always used to back in the day. I used to call myself the Fifth Crusader. I felt
Oh yeah.
that should have brought me on.
I remember.
But yeah, man. So there was a lot of social media attention about the halftime show.
Yeah.
And a lot of hidden messages and everything like that.
Absolutely.
And of course, with next week being President's Day and then the performance that you're giving, man, kind of touch on, for those that, maybe didn't see, because I've heard both sides. Oh, that was corny. He wasn't the Kendrick Lamar that I was expecting. But people really weren't focused on the message.
Yeah.
And so shout out to the Eagles. Congratulations. Happy for y'all.
Absolutely.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes. NFC
Absolutely.
in the house. Yes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, that's kind of like what that message, man, and kind of touch on that for us.
I'll be honest, man. I'm not a Kendrick fan.
Okay.
I think he's a phenomenal rapper and lyricist. His music isn't my cup of tea.
Okay.
I'm more of a J. Cole fan. But with that being said, that performance was phenomenal.
For sure.
It was phenomenal, bro. The imagery, the symbolism, the choreography, bro. And the thing that stuck out to me the most about it was the fact, and I know I'm gonna lose some people with this,
Sorry.
but
Step on some toes.
there were all black people on stage donning the colors of America, red, white, and blue, and it was all black people. Now, I'm not gonna put words into Kendrick's mouth, but I know what I think that meant. The fact that he had Uncle Sam UL.
Yeah.
And we know what Uncle Sam represents.
Right.
And he had Uncle Sam UL. Once again, I won't put words into his mouth, but I think that meant something, man. And it touched me, bro. It really did. I was like, wow, man, to see all these black people donning the American flag colors and dancing and having a good time, and Uncle Samuel. I was just like, bro, Kendrick is a genius, man. Mm-hmm. And I won't get into all the diss stuff.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Sure. But we know that was in there too. Sure. Bro, that Serena Williams was diabolical. When I seen Serena, bro, the Serena Williams crip walking was diabolical. I'm going to say this about Kendrick. In all seriousness, bro, don't nobody else battle that man. He's a different breed, bro. Like, and it's not even about the lyrical stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You saw J. Cole got up out of there. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was about the lyricalness. It's about to battle. I'm a battle rap connoisseur, by the way. I consume battle rap on a daily basis. Awesome. Shout out to Smack. You gotta be a different breed to go there. Right. And Kendrick, like I said, that part, and there was other parts in there that was very disrespectful on a battle tip. And for him to make a battle rap song a Grammy award winning masterpiece is insane. But anyway, back to the other stuff. I just thought it was very, very befitting that he had all black people on the stage in red, white, and blue in a time in our country where there's an attack on diversity. There's an attack on, this is Black History Month. There is an attack on education, right? They call it like critical race theory and things like that. When you start pretty much just giving history of the black exploits that have been done in our country that have contributed to the greatness of our country. They say it's CRT. They say it's woke. You know, get that DEI out of here. It was people calling Kendrick's performance a DEI halftime show, all on Twitter with it, man. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So we're in a very, very crazy time where people are saying they want to go back to a time. They want to make America great again, denoting that it was great once before, and we need to go back to that time, how it used to be. To how it used to be. And I feel like, once again, that is in direct opposition of things like civil rights, right? That people, not just black people, right? People in this country marched and protested for and died for civil rights for everyone, right? For voting rights and the right for women, you know what I'm saying, to vote and all these different things, to have opportunities at jobs and different stuff. So it's an attack on all of that. And I felt like by Kendrick having those black men and women on stage with him in red, white, and blue, showing like, hey, man, we're American, brother. Uncle Sam, American. We contribute to this stuff, man. I thought it was beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then in one of your songs, man, Can't Breathe, I can't talk about it enough. Yeah. And I listened to the lyrics, and in the chorus it says, get your knee off my neck. Yeah. You know, I know from the outside looking in, you know, we talk about the officer in New York. Yeah. You know, and everything like that. But what is the real symbolism behind that song? Yeah. And people, if you haven't already, you know, got a chance to listen, I encourage y'all, please listen. But Can't Breathe, the song is called Can't Breathe, and it's just like, you know, I can't breathe, get your knee off my neck. Yeah. The symbolism behind that, because I caught it. You know, I caught it immediately, man. But what was that? What was the inspiration behind that?
I mean, wrote that song during COVID. We all remember that time. Ironically, that was back in a time when the current president was also president then, go figure. But yeah, so when that officer kneed George Floyd's neck to the point where he incapacitated him and the man died while crying out for his mother, it was horrific. And I felt like it was symbolic of not just the actual physical nature of what he did, but it's symbolism of how black people have been treated in America for a very long time. Here was a man crying out for help. Hey, man, I can't breathe. Mama, where are you? And that has been the case for a lot of black folks in this country for a very long time, crying out for help, but feeling like they can't catch their breath. And, you know, if you can't breathe, you can't operate. You can't go to, if you're at work and then you start having trouble breathing, you can't do your job properly.
Nope.
And so in the same way, it's like, bro, there's people out here who feel like they can't breathe. You know what I mean? It's like a claustrophobia sort of thing. It's like, man, I need some air. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when that happens, people can't operate properly.
Right.
And so, yeah, get your knee off my neck, bro. I can't breathe. You know I can't breathe.
You know I can't breathe.
You know what I'm saying? The officer knew it. Mm-hmm. And the other ones around him that was watching. And so it's like, bro, yeah, that was a special song, man. I knew it was as soon as it came to me. You know, get your knee off my neck. Can't you see I'm compressed?
Right.
I'm wheezing to death, pleading out from neglect. I guess you're due no respect, 'cause the hue of your flesh, 'cause they'll shoot you to death and say you were a threat. Only in America, man.
Right. Only
Nowhere else.
No.
Nowhere else, bro. Like literally, that nowhere else in the world. Only in America. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, man, because we tout ourselves as the greatest country in the world. And I mean, I don't know, man. You know.
It's it's definitely crazy, man, and I think my thing is I get worried for our children.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
because I think as black people, nobody understands more than black people how much we have to pray over our children. You know, because at any point, and God forbid, and I know all the church cliches, God is in control and he'll never put more on you than you can bear and all of that. All right, let's step aside from the church cliches and get real. How many times do we anoint our kids and really having to pray and hope that we see them get off the bus?
Yeah.
You know, because there's killings happening in schools.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think for us as black and brown people of color, that have to experience this, and not only experience it, but we watch, like you said in the song where it says, you know I can't breathe. It's not the fact, it's not just the fact that you're watching that we can't breathe, but you don't even care.
Yeah.
And it's continuing to happen. Next week's performance, man, the studio session, what are you hoping is the message that people grasp? What are you hoping people get out of this live session on the 17th?
Well, number one, I'll say I'm very excited about this. It's a dope spot. Shout out to Arcadia, DC and his whole crew, Pat and them. DC on the audio, Pat with the visuals and all of that, man. I'm looking forward to it. But I'll say this: what I hope people will get is hope.
Right.
That's really my number one thing with my music these days. You know, coming up, I think I've gone through all phases with music. Like it was once a time I just wanted to be the punchline rapper. I just wanted to punch you to death. Over the head bars. I wanted you to be like, oh, what did he just say? Like that's what I cared about. Yeah. But now I'm in a place, man, I just want you to feel it. I want people to feel the content, bro. And all of this content, we picked President's Day for a reason.
For sure, we did.
And the reason we picked President's Day is because my latest project, Distress, is centered around all of this stuff that's going on right now, man. So it's a timely message, right? We got songs like Song Cry, where I'm talking about school shootings, mass shootings, you know, police walking up in people's homes and killing them where they live, for no reason. I'm talking about standing 10-10. You put your 10 toes with my 10 toes. Yeah, we're good at standing 10 toes, but let's stand 10 toes. Put your 10 with mine, even if we're in disagreement, right?
Right.
We're better together, man. You know what I mean? It's one band and one sound, Dr. Lee, meaning that, yeah, everybody has a difference. You may be a trombone player.
Right.
I may play the tuba, right? You may be a snare drum, I may be a bass drum, and we play different things. We play different notes, but when we play them together,
Yep.
it's beautiful. It's harmonious. People think that harmony is everybody thinks the same, everybody do everything the same, everybody act the same, we disseminate the same messages, and that's not true unity.
Right.
True unity is when we can have differences among us, but put our differences together, right? And while doing that, it becomes harmony. Different keys, right? You play D. When you play the keys, you're playing different notes.
Right.
But when you put them different notes together, it makes a harmony.
Absolutely.
That's what harmony and unity really is. And so for this performance next week, man, the songs are hope-filled, I believe, for people who see what's going on right now and are maybe a little distraught at what they're seeing. So it's hopeful, a hopefulness I'm hoping comes from it. But I also hope people are entertained, man, and have some fun. It's going to be dope. The stage is set.
sir.
DC and his crew do a phenomenal job putting this thing together. It's going to look dope. It's going to sound dope. I believe people will be entertained. I plan on putting on a show. I will sweat. You know what I mean? You know, shoot, I might go tank.
I just
do a
might.
couple crunches first, you know. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a movie.
That's real, man. I'm excited, and like I said, man, it's not just the brotherhood that we've always shared, man. I love connecting with people who have been consistent. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I feel as though this message needs to be heard, and we couldn't have picked a better day, you know, to do it. Especially like you said, with everything that's going on. I'm excited. Y'all make sure y'all tune in.
Please.
Next week on the 17th, Monday the 17th, on President's Day at 6 p.m. We will be going live here at Arcadia Studios. Shout out to DC, Arcadia Studios, man. Thank you so much. Also, shout out to Pocket Life Pro. Y'all make sure y'all check Pocket Life Pro. My boy Tori.
Let's go,
doing
Tori.
An amazing job, man. So
let's
check
go.
out Pocket Life. If y'all haven't already, followed us on Facebook. It's After 8 Lounge. On Instagram, it's After8_Lounge. If you are an artist of any kind, rapper, singer, songwriter, poet, comedian, if you play the cowbell, reach out to us. Connect with us, man. This is a platform where we bring artists of this caliber to come in and talk and have some real discussions and then present their gifts on stage. So we appreciate y'all joining us. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing y'all next week on the 17th at 6 p.m. right back here on After 8 Lounge.
Yeah. That was fire.
That was, man. Dope.
Appreciate you, bro.